Okay, so do you know what a lavalier microphone is? You've seen them a million times. It's the little microphone that clips onto somebody's collar and lets them transmit to somebody that's receiving the voice and in an inconspicuous way. So why do I need this? I do a lot of recording on my iPhone, and most of the time my iPhone picks things up just fine. I don't need to worry about it. But there are times when I'm doing like a big unboxing or assembly and I'm standing 10 feet away from my phone, and in that case the audio is kind of weak. There's also times when I use I have an Android phone. If I'm doing something, if I'm trying to record me using my iPhone, I have to use my Android phone, and the Android phone I have has a weak mic. And when you get very low levels on your mic, then you have to jack it up in post-production, and that jacking it up doesn't always give good results. So I got a lavalier mic that supports both iPhone and Android. So we're going to see first if it really does properly support iPhone and Android, and secondly, how it sounds on each of them. So let's unbox it and see what's inside, get it charged up, plug it in, and run some tests. Okay, we've got this wireless lavalier microphone. Let's open it up and see what we get in the box. Okay, so two microphones. That's nice. Each one has a clip. Each one has a USB-C charging cord. We love USB-C charging. It's the way to go. We don't have to worry about a proprietary cable later in the future. And this was promised to have be able to use a one adapter for an iPhone and one adapter for an Android. So you can see here we have a USB-C adapter for an Android phone. Okay, in a classic case of jumping the gun, I assumed that this little box held nothing but USB-C cables because it had a picture on it, and I was going to ding this guy for not including some of the stuff that I thought should be in here. But in addition to the two USB-C charging cables, it includes a bunch of extra windscreens for the mics. But I do in fact have a receiver for a Android and a receiver for an iPhone. This adapter for the iPhone was what I thought was their solution, and indeed it also includes an adapter for a regular USB-A. These are just regular standard connectors, but these guys are what you need. So in total, when you open the box and get everything out, you get your USB-C connectors, two mics, two receivers, and that's the important thing. So my hasty failure to examine the open box led me astray. Okay, mic 1 and mic 2 are charging away. Got a little red light. Usually the red light indicates that we're in the charging process. It probably changes to green when they're done. I hope it looks red on the video. It looks, when I'm looking at it, when I'm recording it, it looks kind of yellow, but in real life, it's red. Two identical mics charging using USB-C connectors. Confusing. When we're charging, we have a red light, so you would think when we're fully charged, we have a green light. No, when we're fully charged, we have no light. Okay, so the iPhone's pretty good at picking up sound, but you know, it can't help but attenuate. So let's listen to how loud I sound when I move 10 feet back. Okay, at 10 feet back, you know, you can still hear me, and I can crank the sound up because it's so attenuated. You're going to get a little bit of distortion and more static and hiss. Green light. I think that means we're mic. Okay, mic clipped on. Now we're seeing what I sound like close up. Now let's go back 10 feet. My green light's still on, and we'll see what type of volume I get from 10 feet out. Okay, this Android phone that I use, I really have a lot of trouble with the sound on this one, so even when I'm up close, I don't like the way the sound comes across. So you can hear what it sounds like here, and let's hear. And on this phone, when I'm 10 feet back, I get really lousy sound. I don't like it at all. Okay, so I'm using an app called Open Camera, which allows me to select an external mic as a video source. So hopefully now I sound a lot better. But let's see if I sound a lot better going way back. Okay, now I'm at my 10-foot distance, and we'll roll it back in. And this seems to work properly, and the sound is a lot better than the sound in my default mic. I am betting that there's a way I can get the camera app to do this, but I'm not an Android expert, and this particular camera app does have the ability to let me select mic settings, whereas the default one that ships with this phone doesn't. You know, no big deal. It's a free app, so it seems to work, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to try to explain to you a little bit of the problem I have with my Android phone, and this is not necessarily the fault of the mic adapter. If you look, my Android phone has like a lot of phones, has a little rubber cover over the bottom USB-C port. So if you want to charge, you have to pull this out, and then you have something like this. Well, inserting this into that is not so easy because this thing's in the way. So in order for me to get this in and get it to really take hold, I kind of have to push it in and pull the rubber out of the way, and I don't actually get what I would call a very satisfying grip, but you can see the thing in there is kind of mangling in the way, but it works. So I don't want to take the rubber cap off. If I just remove that, this would work really great. But you know, it's there for waterproofing, so I'm gonna leave it on and use it this way. I think I'll get used to. I'll get the hang of doing it pretty seamlessly after a while. A small glitch, and like I say, this is nothing that's this is not the fault of the people who make the adapter here. This is really the phone manufacturer not completely thinking through how people are going to use the USB-C port. I guess one way you could do this is you could get a super short USB-C connector and connect the mic that way. Maybe that would work. There's probably like an adapter for that, and maybe I'll buy one of those. Okay, you got to hear the upshot of this using this mic on both my Android phone and my iPhone. My iPhone, the only problem I'm trying to solve with that is getting good sound when I'm at a distance from the camera. It did great for that. So it sounds good using it close up and distant. My iPhone by itself sounds pretty good if you're close up, but it does not pick up distant sounds very well. So that problem is solved nicely. The microphone's nice and little and inconspicuous, and it fits into the iPhone really well. My Android phone, which has crummy sound, this fixes my close-up sound and my distant sound. So it's really a good solution for my Android phone. The Android software is a little funky. This is not the fault of the people who make the mic. Finding a way to use the mic required that I use this open camera app instead of my stock camera, but whatever, it works. So and of course I had problems with the mechanical fit of the receiver into my Android phone as well. And again, that's not the problem of the mic people. This is the problem of my Android phone. So this is a 5-star product. It's not expensive. Gives you 2 mics, 2 receivers. You can use it everywhere. It's a winner. So go out and buy one. If you're making any kind of video that requires anything more than just talking directly into an iPhone, get this guy. My family and I have a lot of fun doing product reviews. We get to see new and interesting devices, put them through their paces, and then share that knowledge with you. I hope you find this review helpful. If you do, please use the affiliate link in my description below the video to buy the product. It doesn't cost you any more, and it gives me a few pennies. And if you would subscribe to my channel, that would really help also. It gets me a little more privileges and things I can do on YouTube. Hope you found the review helpful, and if you did, leave a comment.